Hi everyone, it is September 9th of 2010 and this is your Hurricane Tracker video update. Well, out here in the Atlantic Ocean we do have one active storm at this time, Tropical Depression Igor. Igor formed yesterday into a tropical storm as a vigorous wave that came off of the African coast. Today the National Hurricane Center actually downgraded Igor from a tropical storm to a tropical depression because the convection was no longer located near the center and they were having a hard time finding sustained tropical storm force winds in that area. But as of late this afternoon, Igor does appear to be back in a strengthening phase, and we'll show you that on satellite here in just a moment. There is a new area of interest in the southeastern Caribbean Sea we're going to need to keep a very close eye on. Then it has a medium chance at development at this time. 40% is what the National Hurricane Center is giving it. And if it does develop into something, it's going to have plenty of time to strengthen over very warm Caribbean Sea waters. Water temperatures out here are in the low to mid 80s, and really all a tropical system needs to gain strength is about a water temperature of 80 degrees. And down here in the Caribbean Sea, they're well above that. So if this thing gets its act together, we could have a pretty major storm headed for Mexico or the United States sometime next week. So we're going to need to keep a very close eye on that disturbance. This afternoon's satellite picture of Tropical Storm Igor, you can see there is a very nice area of convection that is now formed near the center of circulation. And this afternoon, Igor looks more like a very classic tropical storm. So he finally may be getting his act together and beginning the strengthening phase. The Hurricane Center is calling for Igor to become a hurricane in about 3 days. Now, as far as the computer models for Tropical Depression Igor, over the next few days, they do keep the storm on a westerly course. And then in about days 4 and 5, start turning the storm more towards the northwest. And that could be an indication that Igor may go ahead and recurve out into the Atlantic, but it is way too early to tell that, as many factors and things can change between now and then. So we're going to need to keep a close eye on this one until we're in the all clear with Igor. The official track as of the 5 p.m. Eastern advisory from the Hurricane Center today does show it re-strengthening to a tropical storm again by tomorrow and becoming a hurricane sometime on Sunday afternoon. And the National Hurricane Center is starting to show a more of a northwesterly bend at the end of the track, which would be good news because there would be less of a chance the storm would affect the Leeward and Windward Islands or Puerto Rico or even the United States. But again, we'll need to keep a close eye on Igor. That's a long way out, and in the tropics, things can change in quite a hurry. Now, the other item of note I wanted to show you was the tropical wave out in the Caribbean Sea. This morning there was a lot of convection with it, and if you look at the last several frames, you can see it's kind of dying out a little bit. So we'll need to watch it tonight and tomorrow and see if it does re-flare back up and try to strengthen into a depression. But again, it has a 40% chance of development, and we'll see what the Hurricane Center says in its next update about this disturbance. And as far as the computer models for the disturbance, they pretty much all want to take it in the same direction on a west-northwesterly track across the Caribbean Sea, which would eventually put it into the Gulf of Mexico. But when you don't really have a well-defined low-level center and it's just a tropical wave, the computer models have a hard time initializing where the actual center of the storm may be. So take these models here with a grain of salt. You know, once a storm is classified as a depression, the models will really get a good handle on where it may end up. But keep checking back here with Hurricane Tracker. We'll try to give you a new video update every day and to let you know what's going on in the Atlantic. Just real quick before we let you go, over in the Eastern Pacific, nothing of interest, no new tropical waves to keep an eye on. It's all quiet over there in the Eastern Pacific Ocean near Mexico. And just real quick, if you love the video updates, let us know in the reviews in iTunes. If you would take a few moments, leave us a review, we would really appreciate that. and it would let other customers know about the good information we try to provide for you. And thanks again for being a Hurricane Tracker customer. We will talk to you soon. Have a great day, everybody.